hold on. My mic was muted. All right. Hello, hello. I am back from vacation and I am here live. I have my scratch my chair that my cat had scratched up behind me. Eventually I'm replacing this chair, right? It's so comfy. So tonight is just a really important topic, and I I do want to talk about my vacation a little bit. I just came back from a cruise. My family are cruise folks. At this point, we really should be earning points and credits and all this kind of stuff because it's a regular. It's like second home and stuff like that. Very fabulous vacation as always, and it was a great way to de-stress and shift my mind into other things and break certain patterns that happen, which I'm going to talk about here because it has a lot to do with the mind. As you know, the mind, I like to call it ego, or if you want to call it fear-based energy, whatever terminology you want to use for it, gets in the way. It gets in the way of everything that you're trying to have in your life, you're trying to create, and things like that. And so we're going to be talking a lot about that. This is where fear comes in. Okay, this has a lot to do with that. And all right, so where am I going to begin? Let's talk about fear. The fear in the twin flame connection, or even the twin flame journey overall. Like, no matter what it is that you're striving to achieve, no matter what's happening with you and stuff like that, fear finds a way. Fear finds a way to come. And especially in this connection, it's a very strong connection, guys. This is not your imagination. This person comes into your life. Certain situations happen that triggers fear because it's intended that way. Okay, it brings up your deep rooted fear that you didn't know is there. And you might be like, well, there was a time I didn't have any fear. Of course, there was a time you didn't, until that soul recognition kicked in, the awakenings occurred, the fear within you elevates and comes to surface, because that's what it does. And then now the connection takes a whole nother turn. And then for many of you, you're afraid. What if I'm wrong? What if they won't come back? What if things go wrong? Can I really be in a loving relationship with this person? Can, like, your mind starts to create the worst case scenarios. Okay, that's what it does. And it makes it challenging, where you can be like, I want to surrender, I want to believe, I want to feel confident and know that everything's going to work out, and stuff like that. But it's almost impossible to achieve this if you're in fear, if you're living in fear over your connection. So to me, the twin flame connection is a symbol of other things that are going on in your life. You might be like, really, Ishid? I haven't heard of that. It's a symbol that your connection with your twin flame is pretty much a connection with yourself. And it shows you many things that are going on inside of you that you may not have been aware of. Okay, that's what's happening here. Let's take obsessive thinking, for example. You're constantly thinking about this person, and you want to know how you can live your life without this obsession and take control again, right? Do you find that you're obsessively thinking about other things in your life? Okay, do you find that? Whether it has to do with other people and things that are going on with them, or money. Are you obsessively thinking about money? Like, where is it? When is it coming? How is it going to show up? All this kind of stuff. Is this happening for you? Because the connection shows you these particular patterns that are within you. And once you begin to identify these patterns, like this is how what I teach is to not focus on this particular person. Like, I'm trying to heal for this person to come in. It's too much stress. It's too much energy on them. They don't want it, and it feels yucky. It feels. Some of you might be like, ah, now you just offended me. You know, I gotta say what it is. When someone's energy is so much on you, it's like, okay, why? Why are they doing that? Why are they that way? Don't they value themselves and all this kind of stuff? And so, where was I going out with this before I cut myself off? I lost my train of thought. All right, it'll come back. And so, yes, this is what I teach, is to look at other areas. You start to resolve other ways that whatever this pattern in you is showing up. Okay, and how is it showing up within yourself before truly bringing it into your twin flame connection? Okay, because by doing this, you'll begin to really see yourself in a different light and start to understand the pattern and begin to break it down. And I'm going to give you an example. We're talking about fear, so let's make this about fear. Let's use money for example. Okay, money. You know, you're manifesting money and your mission. We'll talk about these two. A lot of mission folks out here. If you know that you have a heart's calling, God's telling you to do some work and that kind of stuff, this applies to you, because there's a lot of fear that shows up as you're diving into your mission. Okay, so we'll get into that. So there's fear. You're feeling afraid of money. Okay, you know there's money. You hear it all the time. There's money, there's abundance, it flows, you can manifest it, you can create this wonderful life and that kind of stuff. But your bank account is not showing you that. Okay, nope, your bank account is not showing you. And the bill collectors are not sympathetic either. And so then, or whatever you have planned for yourself, whatever goals you have, they're not sympathetic either. Perhaps like you want a vacation, you want to go on vacation and you're like, I don't have the money for that. Vacation is coming up. It's really expensive. How am I going to afford things? How am I going to do all this kind of stuff? When you are in this particular pattern, I don't care what it is, when fear is there, it creates a block to whatever it is that's trying to come into your life. It blocks it. Okay. And so when you are in the frustration of where is money, how is it going to come in? It can't show up for you. If this sounds like a lot of you, I'm going to recommend this, that you begin to tackle your fear here with money. If this is for you, okay? Why is it happening? Where is it coming from, and all this kind of stuff? This is one example. You can also tackle your fear in relationships. All right? Do relationships feel scary for you? Do you feel like people, like no one can really show up for you? Like you have a really hard time trusting someone. To begin to look at the fears that you're having in those. Because I'm going to take a break and say hi to Tatiana, who did message a few minutes ago. Have a beautiful day. Thank you. And same with you as well. All right. And okay. So you look at the fear in other places in your life. Oh, fear of relationship. Fear of relationship. Many of us have this. Okay. Many of us have this. And many of us have it without realizing that we have it, especially when you're trying to be in connection with someone, you're trying to be in a relationship with someone, but you keep finding fault in them. You keep saying, they're doing this to me, they're doing that to me, and you're not sure how to stop doing that. Or they haven't responded to me, there's something going on. They're talking to someone else, or perhaps they're choosing someone else over me. When these things happen, this is because you fear being in a relationship, or you fear relationship in some kind of way. That's what it's showing you. And it's like, I know some of you might be like, I don't know if this is true. Because what the mind does is protect you. Okay. And so while you're growing up, or maybe it was past life too, you learn that relationship is scary. Okay. So either the people responsible for taking care of you gave you harsh discipline and said, I love you. Okay. So I love you equals harsh, harsh, something scary. All right. Or you observe couples in relationships who argued a lot, who would tell you things like all people are no good and all this kind of stuff. So what happens is you develop a fear of connection because this is what you were taught. And unfortunately, this is what many of us had experienced. And so when we get into a connection with someone, we're like, you know what? I've been told since I was little, or coming from a previous lifetime, that you're going to hurt me. I've been told that you're going to hurt me because that's all I know about love. Okay. So there's the fear of relationship, looking into it, going to the core of it, the root of it, and figuring out why is it there. If this is you, all right, even if you're like, I'm not afraid of relationships, but if you're constantly finding something in someone, it's your mind trying to keep you safe, and you may not realize that. Okay. All right. And I see, yes, this is me with money, but had huge trauma. I listen to your advice. It's coming in more and more slowly but surely. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. And the fear, this is one thing. I'll share this with you guys. This is golden. Okay. So really pay attention to this. The mind likes to sit on the same thing all the time. The mind is constantly thinking. That's just how it is. Okay. There's no real way to make it stop thinking. you can, I have meditation that I do with clients that like quiets the mind just like that. I'll ask, what thoughts are you having? Nothing. It's complete soul alignment, and there's no space for ego whatsoever. And I like to use this technique. It's a technique of coming within yourself and being of soul, and it shuts your thoughts. It's like when you're feeling like you're super panicky about anything, bring yourself into this and it just quiets it. Okay? It quiets it in that moment so you can get back into feeling peace and things like those. However, the mind likes to think. And when you're in the same routine day after day, you're doing the same things, your mind can't think of anything else. It can't. And so this was one of the reasons I had really enjoyed my trip. And I recommend it for all of you. If you find that you're stuck in a particular pattern, you can't seem to break it, switch your routine. You got to switch your routine. And this tricks your mind, or it breaks this pattern that keeps happening and that kind of stuff. And your mind begins to think of other things. You're able to shift somewhere else. Okay. Super, super important, because when we stay focused on that thing, whether it's money or the twin flame coming back, or looking in the physical, it's going to drive us nuts. It's not your imagination. This is normal. You're looking, there's something about the physical, right? That, not something, the physical is where the ego exists. So it's like, I'm looking at them and they're not here. And they just said some dumb stuff. Like, I don't know if this is going to work anymore. Like, you keep looking in the physical in that kind of stuff. You keep looking in the physical, you're going to find evidence of whatever it is that the mind wants to believe. It's going to do that. But when you move into intuition instead, and you can do this by shifting to something else. Shift your mind to anything else. Change your routine, change what you're doing day to day, change the type of food you eat, get interested in other things and that kind of stuff. So you're no longer focusing on money, your twin flame, all this kind of stuff. Okay, so that is a golden suggestion. I just shared there. If anyone has done this before, or when you do this, comment below. Let me know how that worked for you. If you were able to break that routine and get into thinking about something else. All right, so your twin flame will come in. Okay, I do not have a question about that in my mind for anybody. And you might be like, how do you have such certainty, 𝐏𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿? Well, I'm a huge believer in the law, in the intuition. Number one, first and foremost, your intuition. Many of you are saying, I feel like they're coming in. I feel like they're going to call me. I feel like this is what our future is going to be. I've been shown this is what our future is going to be. They came back previously, maybe multiple times. Maybe not everybody experienced that. There's a reason why that happens. Your intuition is number one key indicator of what's going to happen for you in the future. Okay? Your intuition. So when you sense this, believe it. And if you don't believe it, there's a reason why. Okay? And this is also something that needs healing. It may not sound like it. You're like, I can just simply trust my intuition and that kind of stuff. Not as easy as it sounds. It's not as easy as it sounds. And it does require, and some of you might be like, oh, you're adding more things to my plate. Like, I have to do that. Yes. I'm going to tell you that right now. Yes, when it comes to your intuition. Because many of us were not taught to listen to ourselves and to trust ourselves. And so when we receive messages, the mind comes in and says, I don't know. I've been let down too many times. I've trusted myself in the past. And, I don't really know. I hope the internet is okay. It's looking like it's unstable. I truly like we're solving this. Hopefully this is the last week. I've tried different providers and networks, and it's just I've got to go back to the original folks. Okay. And so going back to this, we have our intuition, and it's there, and it's guiding us, but it makes it really hard for us to trust ourselves when we're not used to doing that. Okay. I know for many of you out here, you're like, I'm ready to experience this connection, but I'm still having fear around it. Okay. This is a time, before saying, I'm ready, have my twin flame. I've been there. I've been like, universe, I'm ready. And the universe is like, no, you're not. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Of course I am. And they're like, no, you're not. And then more fear comes up, more stuff comes up, and more alignment took place and things like those. Certainly it's not required. It's not necessary for everybody's journey. But when you have fear that's so deeply rooted that you're not quite sure how to get rid of that fear or how to work with it, because sometimes we don't need to get rid of the fear. We just know how to work around it and accept it and comfort it, talk to it, anything like that. You're working alongside with it instead of just ignoring it, right? When you haven't quite done these for yourself, this person who is you shows you a lot of these things, shows you a lot of your fears. And so if fear is still a big part of you in your connection, in your journey, in other areas of your life, I truly recommend, this is my recommendation, which many of you might not want to hear, to take a step back and say, okay, let me look at these, figure out where they're coming from, and take care of this. Because I no longer want to experience toxic relationships, relationship that feels one-sided, having someone who hardly sees me and hears me, someone who's like in and out, and that kind of stuff. One minute they're hot, next minute they're cold. Like, being done with that. Take a step back and say, all right, I need to do this for me. Okay. All right. I know. You're like, Ksheed, I'm tired of being alone. I'm really tired of being alone. I get it. I truly get it. And let me tell you, your twin flame is coming in. They're coming in. So let this moment be about you uncovering the fears you are experiencing within this connection on your journey and in other areas of your life, and begin to work with them, begin to heal yourself from them, so that you're building trust within yourself, trust within connection, and trust on your journey. Believe me, it changes so much for you when you are doing this. All right, so let me take a look. Hi, Meredith. And yes, I did read that comment. And Crystal, hello. And Sharon, I've been letting go and feeling so much better, where I can feel the release of needing to have him is happening. Now, the last 2 nights, I am having such vivid dreams about him where I can actually, I believe you're going to say, okay, there, the rest of it, see and feel him. Why is this happening with the release? Ooh, I love your question. And hi, Vibe Freak. All right, love your question. Why is that happening? You're letting go and you're releasing the need to have him. And now it feels like things are moving for you. Okay? That's exactly it. That's exactly it. When you let go of the need of having anything, it shows up for you and you can sense it. You can feel reunion as it's happening. Having more dreams, running into your person on the street or anything like that. Money, same thing, works the same way. When you release the need of having to have them, the need to have them, you're letting it go. I know that this is scary for some. I know that. Okay. And even while working with my clients, there's this moment of, I don't feel like I need them. I don't feel that attachment. I'm worried. Okay. Because if they mirror me, are they mirroring that too? And it's like, no, what's actually happening when you release the need to have anything, it means that you are your source of happiness, of enlightenment, of connection, of love. You're being that source of it. Okay? And your twin mirrors that. They mirror the changes within yourself. You are in alignment, and especially in alignment of abundance. When you let go of needing to have, you're moving from lack to abundance. Okay? Very different. Sometimes we're so used to lack. We're like, I can't let the lack go because I can see it. I don't know. Abundance is just too unknown for me. It's not familiar. I can't control it. I need to see it, you know? That's the mind. That's the mind. Take a look at that. Okay? Why is there that fear? Because you know, many of you know by now, if you've been following many videos, not just my videos, and if you've been trying to manifest, you know that letting go is the key, but you can't seem to do it. It feels too scary. Okay, why does it feel scary? Begin to ask yourself these questions, because when you understand the laws of the universe, you'll know there's no way around it. There's no way around the laws of the universe. Believe me, I've tried lots of times. I tell the universe, please understand Please understand. I have these thoughts. I'm working on them, but I don't want to experience whatever it is I would tell myself, right? Yeah, the universe is not worried. They're not worried, and they're super unfair in that kind of way, or it feels that way, right? Some of you might be like, "Ah, don't talk that way about the universe." I've been told that. I like to be free spirited with how I talk about the universe and spirituality and things like those, because that's my flow. That's my flow. So sometimes certain languages, I get this from people, you got to say things in a nicer way. And I'm like, forget that. Forget that. Because it's how you process, how I process. My understanding, my learning, my peace, and that kind of stuff. And releasing, and to release resistance. Okay. And we have a pretty good working relationship, me and the universe. We really do. And you might be like, okay, the universe, you listen, if it's a better working relationship, it's actually me surrendering and working with the universe, because the universe just does what the universe does, and that's it. Okay. There's no maybe it's this, maybe it's that. No, the universe does what the universe does. It's consistent, and it does not change. Those universal laws do not change. So if you have fear, worry, panic, and that's your dominant energy, that's what happens. That's what shows up. I feel afraid they're going to leave me. I feel afraid they'll choose someone else. I'm worried they're not going to choose me. They're not going to come back. This is your dominant energy. The universe follows. It doesn't know anything else but your energy and what you're saying. That's all it knows. Okay? That's all it knows. And when you can break these patterns, break down your fear, and move into, it's like you're moving out of your way. You move into your soul's inner knowing. You have a greater connection with yourself. You're doing other things so that there's no resistance. Everything you know shows up for you. Okay. That's how that works. That's how it works. Manifesting the same way. Like it literally, a lot of it is manifesting. All right. So let me see the questions. And hi, Coco. Thanks for hopping on. You welcome, Sharon. My spirit guides are working with me on manifesting. Beautiful. Love it. I've learned that we are creator beings. Yes, we are. We manifest consciously and unconsciously and subconsciously. So many conscious layers, right? If we take control of our manifestations, we control our life. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Everything is a manifestation of our thoughts, our energy, everything we experience. Okay? Everything. This is one of the reasons why someone might say, well, I don't want to manifest. Like, I don't want to manipulate the journey and that kind of stuff. Well, your thoughts have already been doing that. Okay. Where there is fear, I don't trust this person, I don't know what's going to happen. Your thoughts are already doing that. Manifesting is constant. There is no, let me take a break from it. I'm not going to manifest, but because you're manifesting constant every second. But what I love about it, in case some of you begin to feel afraid, like, oh, I just had one awful thought, that's being manifested. Well, yeah, well, in a way, the universe does go with your dominant energy. So it's always, your dominant energy is always over all else. Okay. It's just that you don't want to stay in that low frequency negative thinking for too long. But when you move into negative thoughts, that starts to manifest. But you can shift that. It's not constant. So when we're in lack, where fear dominates our life, we feel like it's forever. We're like, how on earth do I get myself out of this energy? I don't feel like I can. It's not happening, and all this kind of stuff. I gave you one advice earlier. Super important. If there's anything you take from this video, it's going to be that one right there, right? Switch up your routine. Okay, you trick your mind. Your mind's like, oh, wait a second. Oh, this that exists. Okay, so that's one way. The other way is to really take a look at your fear and begin to break it down, because fears tell lies, everyone. Your fears are lying to you. They're not true. Your intuition is where truth exists. And you're following your inner guidance and you're creating your reality. So, like a car is always moving, we are always manifesting. You got it. You got it. One of these days, I might have to like invite you on a live or something and talk about some of these things. And why are there so many synchronicities during separation? I see her name everywhere and people that look like her and tons of numbers and constant dreams. It's so overwhelming. So, I have this question for you right now. Are you resisting the connection, or have you fully surrendered to it? Like, is there a part of you that's like, I don't know if I want to believe any of this stuff. I don't know if, it may or may not be related to this. But one thing I know with the universe is that when you're having some kind of doubt, the universe will keep sending you those, the synchronicity, seeing the person everywhere, people looking like them, and the numbers and all this kind of stuff to get you back on track, to steer you back, to say, wait a second, where are you going? That's not your path. Okay, whatever other thoughts that are happening, if this is the case, that's not your path. So we're going to show this to you. We're going to support you, because they're supporting you, and letting you know that everything is unfolding for you, that this is your path. This is, your pattern. The universe supports twin flame connections because of what the connection is about. Okay. The connection, it's about you, it's your ascension. You eliminating the things of within yourself that hasn't been in alignment with the highest version of yourself. Okay, this is what the connection is. And by doing that, it heals the collective of folks. Like we're all in this together, right? Healing, your healing heals others, heals this one, heals the people around you, and the earth is shifting. So this is a lot like of the background, what goes on in this connection. So in order for this to happen, twin flames got to come together. And plus there's an agreement before we incarnate that this is what our soul is going to go through and things like those. So the soul is doing what the soul does. The universe is supporting it. But our ego comes in, our mind comes in and disrupts that pattern. And so the universe is like, stop that. Maybe not to that extent, because the universe really just, the universe does what it does. Okay. That's the second thing I want you to really take from this video. The universe does what the universe does. There's no bending it. And it's in total support of what you came here for. And it's going to show you signs, synchronicities, messages, and everything to support you on your journey, to let you know this is your path. Continue to trust that and stay on this path, because what's coming for you is far greater than you can imagine. Is far greater than what the ego believes it can create. Okay? Because the ego is not in charge of any of this. Your mind can't do a lot of this stuff that the universe is doing. All right. So that's why it would do that. And even while you're manifesting, it'll show you signs. You're manifesting money, you come across, I don't know, a quarter on the ground. It's yours, by the way. Thank the universe, because it shows you a sign. Okay, your manifestation is showing up. We're getting there. You're becoming more aligned. We're supporting you. We're dropping some hints, some evidence that you're right on track, and they will do that. I'm constantly working through my fear of rejection. Last night he asked me how I truly feel and can sense that I hold back how much I really love him. Yeah, the fear of rejection is one of those things that I like to call it, what's coming to my mind is unfair. Okay. It's really strong. At times it's debilitating. It can be very hard to work around. Some people might be like, my twin flame runner keeps running and I don't know why, because I create safety, I'm really nice and all this kind of stuff. One reason may be because of that, the fear of being rejected. Fears will tell stories, will paint a different picture than the reality, will make it seem like the thoughts are real and stuff like that. And you can break it down. You can break down the fear. You know, we're starting up again my group coaching, that's going to take place on Tuesday, and this is going to be one of the first topics we talk about, because I have realized that fear with many folks can be so challenging to break through, no matter how much healing someone has done. So I'm like, you know what? This is the perfect time. We've had the group before. It was very good. You get to connect with people, hear from other people, and share ideas and so on. You take whatever resonates with you. I certainly learn from a group session, which is truly wonderful. So I'm like, all right, I'm opening this up. I'm giving you an opportunity to join in. Right now it's at a low cost of $37 monthly. Okay. To join in and break down these patterns, especially if you've been doing so much work and it doesn't seem to go away. This is your opportunity to connect with that. And we go over routines, um, daily practices you can do to break down fear. Okay? You can do it. You can do it. You know, one of the things with this connection, even when you're not in contact with the person, happened to me, you know, you think about, what if they show up? There's like a part of you that goes, oh my God, what if they show up? Where would my voice be? Where would my strength be? My legs? I'd be really nervous. I'm too scared. You know, if this is you, just the thought of your person coming back into your life stirs up some sort of fear in you. Like, what if things happen again? And, you know, that's what I encourage you to do. Think of it, think of your person being in your space right here, right now. How does it feel? And if there is fear that comes up, if you're like, I don't know if I'm really ready, you're healing that for you. Okay. Not for the connection. The connection exists, it's present, it's there to show you these aspects within yourself. So you can look at whatever that pattern is and break it down. Okay. Really begin to break it down, because the fear is holding you back in life. In whatever area it is, it's holding you back. You know, I'm hearing about mission. We'll talk about mission in a moment too. Um, and it does require time and patience too. Overcoming the fear of rejection, or what are they going to say? What are they going to do? How are they going to react? Anything like that does take patience to overcome. Okay. So in the new group, are we going to be talking about the divine masculine? I want to focus on me and my growth right now. Yes, it'll be a focus on you and your growth. We're taking, well, with the group, you're taking your power back. All right. We'll look at different areas where you're leaking, where your energy is leaking. Okay. And building you up. We're pulling. This is one of the things that we're going to be doing. We're pulling your energy within so that you experience greater growth inside of you, and your life aligns more and more with what you'd like to create. And it has less to do with the divine masculine. Okay. And I may have to, this is up and coming. We'll see. Because of the twin flame journey, people like here, people like to ask questions, and I don't mind answering them and stuff like that. However, the point of the group is not to go so much into that. It's more you connecting with yourself and allowing the divine to take care of everything else. All right. So I'm glad you asked that question. So it may be that any questions twin flame related will be separate from that, because I really want, or what you desire, what many of you desire, is to feel confident in yourself, feel confident about connection, your future, feel confident in your twin flame connection too. But it starts with feeling confident in yourself first. All right. And hi, Walt. Thanks for joining. So I will put the link for the group soon. I didn't get a chance to do that in the description below. And all right, well, I woke and began to smell lady's perfume inside my small apartment. A medium friend called me and said my lady was putting on her perfume before 7 a.m. Wow. Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things, like, telepathy, mental telepathy is not the only thing that happens in this connection. I forgot the terminology for it. It's like physical, and it's like other senses. You can smell them, you can feel your twin. Dreams happen, all this kind of stuff, because you do have a really intense connection with one another. Again, it may not be twin flame related. This can be something you experience with anybody else, but you truly can experience that in this connection. All right. And oh, wow, that makes sense, because I think I still have some resistance in believing this is real. But thank you for that response. You're welcome. Hello, everyone. Hi, Belinda. And I believe your dream life is the life you're meant to live. Yes, it is. You got it. Your intuition is the voice on the GPS saying, turn left here. Trusting your intuition is paramount. You're right. If you can dream it, it's your reality. And all right, wonderful. I'm going to join the group. I have a fear of being seen 100%. Yep, let's work on this. And I experience pulls and pain on my heart and feel like I have butterflies in my stomach. All right, so you experience pulls and pain on your heart and feel like you have butterflies. Is this tied in? I'm feeling like it's tied in with the twin flame experience, because that's what we're discussing here. But I always like to ask, what do you intuitively feel is happening? Okay, because you can have an idea, like, all right, so I'm going through this, what's happening? And the first response that comes in, that's what it is. I can lay out all the information now, but your intuition lets you know. And if it's not letting you know, twin flames experience a greater connection through the heart chakra. So sometimes, as long as you don't have a medical condition, you're feeling some sort of pull and tug on your heart, it's because your person is connecting with you in that moment, or the connection is pulling you closer together. Okay. All right. And fear of being seen is also connected to my mission. I know. So there we go. Mission. All right. So I've been asked, well, how did you get started, Dasheen? Like, what happened? I literally had no choice. I had no choice. I was awakened at 3 o'clock every single morning, and spirits were like, you got to get going. You're playing around with this. Okay. And so I had to get going. And then once I did, I was no longer being awakened in the middle of the night. And there was a lot of fear around that. We have fear, if this resonates with you, we have fear of going into our mission, because that's also the unknown. Many of us do not wake up and say, I'm going to heal people. I'm going to be a psychic, be a medium, be of service, and that kind of stuff, right? Maybe you woke up one day in the past and you're like, I'm going to be a painter, an artist, a nurse, a doctor, whatever it may be, the president or something like that. Then this mission comes and you have a feeling of being of service in some kind of way. And you're like, wait a second, like, what is that? Okay. Now you got to deal with people and your intuition and be in front of camera, be seen by people who you feel may judge you, like, hey, what are you doing? Like, being a twin flame coach, that's enough to stir up my own family and be like, what is that? Like, did you see that Netflix series? And things like those, right? There's the people, you feel like people are going to judge you for your beliefs and what you do. And you may be the first entrepreneur in your family, or one of the very few, because most people believe in showing up, or this is the old days, showing up for someone else. You put in your 8 hours and you go home, or more hours. You work hard and all this kind of stuff. So there isn't that entrepreneurship in your family or much support of it. So there's a lot of fear. You're stepping into something that's new, that's unfamiliar, and so on. One thing, this is coming to me to help you with this. If you feel you have a calling to be of service with others, is to remember that your life experience had already mounted you up to this, had been building you to come to this place. Okay. Like, this is just my example. I've been in leadership positions, a lot of them in my life, been supervisor, mostly supervisor, and part of the management team. And this led to me managing my team in my company. I've done presentations in front of doctors, students, lawyers, like live presentations. And I had a fear of doing live presentations, which is coming soon. And I'm like, I did this for years. Sometimes our mind, if this is you, if you can relate with this, our mind likes to believe that we weren't there before, but we were. Okay, we were. And you have past life experiences. You've been learning. Your life experience has been preparing you. I did the biggest learning about connection while I was married with my ex. Not even my twin flame. While I was married with my ex, but I had no idea what I was looking at, because this information was not out there. Feminine and masculine energy and connection, what you would call push pull. I saw all of those. People giving me divine messages like do nothing and let him come to you. All of this kind of stuff that I teach now. So somewhere, somehow, it's been shown to you what you're going to do. And you have some sort of awareness, maybe people gravitating to you with their problems. And you say a few words and they're like, wow, I didn't think about that. Or you're in a group and you're commenting and people are like, wow, that's amazing. So you've been shown that. But our mind says, I don't know if I know what I'm doing. Like, what if I feel like I'm an imposter in some kind of way? And it's like, that's a fear to overcome. And like I mentioned before, your fear tells you lies. It just simply does. And it takes you away from what your experiences have been so far, which has been preparing you for where you are now in your journey. And believe it or not, if you have a mission to be of service to others, you're more than ready. You're more than ready. It may just need guidance to really step out there. Okay. Because I find that once you invest in yourself, I hired 2 business coaches and a team. Once I started with one team member. And once I did that, I was like, Asheen, if you don't show up, no one's getting paid. Like, I've got to do this. And it helped me to break out of that. So investing in yourself is one of those things that gives you that push as well. Okay. Yes, it's Titan. He's thinking about me. We haven't talked in 2 months. Yep, there you go. There you go. Yes, I wake up at 3:30 every morning. They're telling you something. The spirits are saying, come on, Belinda, let's get going. And how do you know if you're having a Kundalini awakening? My research showed pain along the spine that rises, and I had a really deep, strange pain in the very base of my spine one night out of nowhere. Okay, sounds like a Kundalini awakening, or the Kundalini, if it's already awakened, it's just activated. This happens differently for different people. Okay, The Kundalini is usually tied in, what I notice, it's mostly tied in with like sexual energy. It's like that intense energy. How do I describe it? It's that comes out of nowhere, right? Like once it becomes activated, it just kind of shows up whenever, and it happens with you. It happens with your twin flame, and you can be experiencing it at the same time. However, it can feel painful for some people. Matter of fact, like extremely painful for some. So it does come in differently. I'll admit, explaining Kundalini isn't my strongest area, but I'm glad you brought it up because it's really important on this journey. And I'll get back to you on that one. Okay. But that's my observation with it, is that it pretty much feels like it has a life of its own. You could activate it, and it goes up your spine. A lot of it is tied in with like a really strong sexual energy. It's like a deep connection with the divine, with the oneness, and so on. All right. Thanks for helping us on our journey. You're welcome, Belinda. And Coco, thank you. Thank you. You're spot on. And my twin flame and I both have the same gifts. We're massage therapists, healers, and speakers. Ah, there you go. There you go. And we've been talking about doing something together, but these damn triggers. I get it. The triggers. These triggers. And you know, all this we'll discuss in the group as well. Super important, managing these triggers, because you trigger each other. You do. And that's going to be ongoing. And the very first step for everybody out here when it comes to triggers, this is what I like for you to take from this video, is to stop judging your triggers. Okay? If you're feeling like I'm not supposed to have them, this is so bad and all this kind of stuff, your triggers are gold. Okay? They are teaching you. Just like the ego and the fear that you're experiencing on this journey is teaching you something. So when a trigger happens, you can start by thanking it. Like, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Some of you might be like, this is weird. Sometimes you got to do weird stuff to overcome stuff. So thank you, trigger, for showing up and letting me know that you exist, that you're there. Okay? And take a look at them and start to break down or heal whatever it is showing you. It's a wonderful tool for you to discover where fear exists within you. So we always need grace from each other to integrate. Yeah. Okay. All right. Totally understandable too. And all right. So this was really wonderful. I hope this was super helpful. When it comes to breaking down fear, I work a lot with the inner child. This is my area. And it's different than what you know of inner child. It's not just simply talking to your child, but really your inner person, but really getting to the root of it, helping your inner person to release the pattern and to develop new patterns instead. And then once you do that, just like that, your reality shifts. And it's just amazing. It really is amazing. I can't emphasize enough how much my life has changed, and the lives of clients that I've helped has changed, not just on the journey, but with people around them, with people who you have felt was difficult, challenging. They don't understand me. I don't know how to communicate my feelings. I don't know how to get people to back off and let me live my life, all this kind of stuff. When you heal and you become the person that you are and you find your voice, because this is what happens in the healing, so many areas of your life changes, and it's freeing. It's freeing. You're like, I no longer have to live this caged life anymore, where I'm holding back fear and pain, and no one can come in, because God forbid they come in, I'll be judged and criticized for it and all this kind of stuff. You're breaking free from all of that. And this is the wonderful teaching of the twin flame journey, right? When you enter the journey, you begin to really look at yourself. You're breaking free from a lot of patterns, a lot of thought processes, fears, and stuff that have not been serving you well. All right. So thanks again for joining. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.